What up? What's keeping you here? What's keeping you standing still? What's keeping you from moving forward? What's keeping you here? What are some things that you think you might have an attachment to that you're still holding on to? Because a lot of times I don't even think we're all conscious of the things that we're still holding on to. I mean, we all have attachments in some way or another. Some of us are conscious of it. Some of us are choosing to hold on to it, to something or someone or a situation or a feeling or a thought, no matter how detrimental it may be. I don't think we were designed to hold on to things. I don't think we were designed to keep everything in our life forever. I don't, because for one, we live in a physical place where we've seen that nothing here physically lasts. You know, especially not our ass. You know, we all gotta go out at some point. I mean, we're decaying on every level, even on a cellular and molecular level. Everybody, on some way, our physical is, because it's meant to. So I don't think we're meant to hold on to shit, especially not even feelings and thoughts, because it can weigh you down.
I was gonna say, yeah, weigh you down for sure.
And I think the objective is to stay light as possible. If anything, pack light, not really having all that baggage and shit. Shit'll slow you down. Not only will it slow you down, a lot of people are just completely being hindered by some things and they don't even know why or what it is. They think things just ain't working for them, but it may be something that you're holding on to that's slowing you down or blocking your progress,
It's that, and also I see times where you're not willing to try something different.
Yeah.
A lot of times, that whole thing where doing the same thing over and over again and expecting to get different results. It's insanity. I see it all the time. People doing the same thing all the time, expecting different results, and they keep getting the same results. And why aren't they trying something different? A lot of times, just afraid to try something different. It could be that one little tweak that you needed that could have made the whole thing change up. Once again, from experience, I've done both sides. I'm doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same results, and then wondering why I'm getting different. And then I finally got to that conclusion where, and for me, how I got there is really just because I was just finally tired of the same shit. So I said, I'm desperate. So I'll make a desperate. Funny enough, I had to get desperate to try to do something different. And that different wasn't even that much different. It was something different came around. Imagine that. I did something different and something different came. And that's all I needed. So for those who get stuck, a lot of times it's because they just don't want to try something different. Or they don't think to try something different. I don't know.
But in order to even try to get to try something different, you gotta let go of something what you're doing probably.
And that's what I'm getting at.
It may not be working for you as much as you think,
But letting go could be that different.
Right. Right. Yeah. So some people are holding on still out of fear of what lies beyond that, the unknown. Some people are holding on to what they're doing right now because they just don't know what's next or what step to take next. Some people are holding on to things out of love. They love what they're doing or what they have or who's in their life so much. They don't want to let it go because of the feeling that it brings them. But what if it's something better than what you're already experiencing? See, the thing is, yeah, you're in bliss, right? But there's levels to everything. What if there's a better bliss than that? Is that so wrong of an idea to want to experience that?
No.
So, but the only way to get there is to let go of this one bliss that you already are so familiar with,
right?
To experience the next one.
And here's the thing with that, though, for me, that bliss isn't as blissful as it used to be anyway because you do it so much.
My point exactly.
So it's like, why are you even holding on to it? You don't even get as much as you used to get out of it.
Shit, it's like smoking weed, to be honest. I smoke weed like a motherfucker, but truthfully, I need to give it a break for like a good 3 months at least because it's not nearly as exciting as it was when I was doing it less often.
Right.
Facts.
It's just not.
Yeah,
true.
it's dope.
Same thing with drinking too.
Drinking too.
Same thing with
you
drinking.
know,
I don't even get as much as I used to get out of it.
Yeah, it's like not even that exciting. Like I get a little relief out of it depending on like where I'm at the moment, you know, what mood I'm in. But it's not nearly as fun as it when I'm not doing it as often. I know everybody knows that high or that drunk that you get when you haven't done it for a long time. Say you give it a month or 2 or 3, the whole summer, and you drink a little bit with the homies or your girlfriends or your parents or your friends, and you sip a little something, just a little something, maybe some wine or something, take a shot or something, and now you're like, damn, fucked up. It's because you gave it a break, you know. You got to recalibrate a little bit, you know. And the same goes for smoking weed too. Everybody knows about that. When you say you stop smoking for 6 months and you get around your homies, or you get in a room and they hot box it, or you just around it, now you feeling the buzz, you high as shit. You know? But you enjoy it more because you don't do it all the time now, you know? And the same goes for feelings and people and new experiences, you know? You may get used to it and you accept it every day, you do the same thing because it gives you what you need. You get what you need out of it, yeah. What if there's more to have? So you convince yourself, well, this is good enough because I always have it, yeah, but there's always more, there's always better. Why don't you shoot for better? Is it because you're afraid of what there may be, or because you're just truly satisfied? You're just telling yourself, well, I got everything I need. I don't need to do much else. This is enough.
If you want more, let's say, or you are somebody who's wanting more, right? I think it's in our nature to want more, but eventually you gotta let go to get more. You don't have to. Otherwise, like you said, you'll get weighed down. Yeah.
Well, you need to, I'm not worried about the dog. So look, you have to decide if what you're doing is holding on out of fear, not trying to change out of fear, or is it because you're secure with what you're doing and it works for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's where you're at, that's where you're at. If you're completely satisfied and content with where you're at with the program you're running and it's working, shit, stick to it, I guess.
I mean, like that was something else I was thinking, like obviously I don't know how obviously I gained hella weight, and it's because of the fact that what I didn't want to let go of. I remember I was on this journey of wanting to feel abundance. I went from not having a real lack mentality, and when I finally got on some abundance shit, I overdid that. So I'm realizing now, since it's no longer working for me, and I don't get the kind of feeling I used to get out of it, now it's time to let that go. I can still experience abundance, but not in the way that I had been, because it's become detrimental to my health. You know, that was something I was thinking about yesterday. How something good how something like positive in its own way can turn into something, you know, kind of negative. Too much of it.
Yeah.
Too much of it. That's something I'm also gonna have to let go of as well, because I got stuck in that mentality of more of the food, because that's abundance, you know. But now I need to explore other ways of feeling abundance. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And let that go, because there's plenty of other ways.
Sure. Yeah, that's the tricky part about this beautiful, abundant life that you have. If that's the state you're living in, if you're living in abundance, that's a beautiful thing, but the same things make you smile, make you cry.
Right.
Because if you can't, like this, you know, we all seen it, there's plenty of dudes that come across a lot of money, they start winning in life, and they start eating more, and they start buying more shit that they
See it
don't
all
need.
the time. You see with rappers and shit.
And it's like, I get it, it feels great, right? But then that was your new drug, that was your new high. Then that high gets old too.
Exactly.
Then what? What you gonna move on to then?
Right.
Likely, a lot of people end up going to drugs and drinking, which I'm guilty of that. You know, I've done that many times in my life. It's like I said, it's like a double-edged sword. It's like, thank you, and I'm grateful for being blessed and having so much abundance. But if you don't know when to tame that abundance, or know when to say when, or give yourself some type of discipline on how to handle it, it's the same. It's just as toxic. You know, now you got too much, and it's just destroying you. Right? You know, it's just tearing you apart because it's no kind of balance being had. So you have to let go of it in order to experience a new high, if you will, a new level. You know, it may not be the same one that you're used to. No, but don't mean that's such a bad thing. Yeah. Just, you know, either way, the idea is to move forward. As far as I'm concerned, And if it means that I gotta let go of this one thing that maybe I was convinced was more fun for another thing, that in the long run is not only more beneficial, but maybe more fun than I thought. But I don't know yet because I haven't taken that step to get to that next one yet. I haven't done the necessary steps, or I haven't let go of the necessary things to get there yet. I don't know yet. I know I want to know, you know. So, just saying, you have to ask yourself, are you holding on still because you're scared to change or to see what that other side feels like? Or are you just holding on because it just works for you? I don't know.
No,
You
one
can
thing. Well, if it's something's time for you to let it go, whether you let go or not, the universe will make you do it. A lot of times, but the only problem with that is, once again from experience, when the universe makes you let go of it, it takes it away from you in a way that's not that comfortable. It doesn't feel good. We'll say it like that. So I'm saying you can either wait for the universe to do it in an uncomfortable way, or you can make the choice, make the decision on your own and do it. You know. But either way, when something's time to go, it's gonna go. Just like people in death. When it's time to go, it's time to go. No matter what you do to try to hold that, it's gonna go. So, I guess what I'm saying is be open and willing to let go when you even get an inclination that it might be time to let it go. Me myself, I'm ignoring a lot of clues that I'm trying to let go of certain things. I'm still ignoring those clues. I'm still letting go. Like I was just saying, like, you know, there's been a lot of clues to me that there's certain things I haven't let go of, and I've been ignoring it. But this conversation is like a good reminder to me to do that today, not tomorrow, today. So, hold up.
Yeah. So, you know, you have to wonder, what is keeping you here? What's keeping you in that mind state? Like, you have to even think, like, it's not just bad habits, it's not stuff like that. It's not necessarily your behavior. Sometimes it could just be the surroundings you're in. Why are you still staying there? Why are you still living where you're living? Like, say you can actually start to afford more rent, right? Or a higher, say your income's gone up and you can afford to move somewhere else, a better neighborhood maybe. Now, that may cost a little more, but you can afford it, right? But you say you don't like all the noisiness and the noisy neighbors and the lack of parking spots in the neighborhood you're in now. And what if just like a couple $100 difference, you can have all that in one spot conveniently and be in a better neighborhood, you know, better living conditions? A lot of people would just say, no, I'm good here because this is all I know. But you tell me a couple $100 difference, you don't want to just do that?
A couple $100 difference because it's going to be in a whole new world for you.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You should want that, I think, you know? But I've talked to a lot of people, especially in LA, like they'd rather just stay in whatever, if they're in a fucked up neighborhood, they'll tell you that they just like the neighborhood or they want to
They
leave.
might even tell you it's not that bad.
They might tell you that it's not that bad. And to them, it may not be that bad because that's what they're used to.
Yeah.
But reality is, I know they want better because I've heard them talk about wanting better. But why is it when it comes to actually taking that step to move out of this neighborhood, you don't want to do it? You know, what's keeping you here for real then? You know, for real. Ask yourself that question.
Could be a job as well that you're holding on to that you should let go of.
Yep. You know, is it the convenience? Is it what? The friends you made at work, I guess. I mean, I don't even know how that's a thing, but I don't make friends at work like that. But some people do, and maybe that's why. What do they call it? Camaraderie or whatever, the friendship. You know.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you gotta remember, it's not, especially if it's not like a career thing for you, it's a job.
Right.
So it's like, why not just, if it's just a job, is that really the reason why you're holding on to it? Because we all know when it comes to a job, they come up there a dime a dozen. I don't care where you live.
Right.
A job's a job. It's a means to an end. It pays the bills.
Right.
So if that's all it is, then really you gotta ask yourself, why am I holding on to this job that I don't like?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And why are you investing so much into it then? You know.
Right.
Like, I get it. Like, you should apply yourself to any situation you're in. You should. This is what we're here to do anyway. But don't get so invested to where you're, fucking losing your shit, getting emotional, and, having shitty days all the time. It's not that serious, It's you're here to get your bills paid. Just Use it for what you need to use it for. Yes, enjoy your time. Don't be miserable while you're there if you can help it. But don't get so caught up into it. It's not that deep, you know? Like, you're here to get the money and pay your bills so you can enjoy the life that you have, right? Sorry. But if you get so caught up into it, man, now you create all types of distractions for yourself and shit. You know, now you're making problems. Now you beefing with people and shit. And it's like, dude, you don't even get paid enough for that shit. You know? In reality is, if you knew what you deserved and really wanted it, you would just go do your own thing. Maybe you're not in position. So maybe you should just be grateful for the blessing that you have and make this shit work so you can move past this level. Problem is, I think we get too comfortable with the bullshit and we make up all types of excuses and then we argue with people and then we get caught up in stupid little petty discussions about the shit and we get more comfortable and we stay in that shit. When we really shouldn't even be entertaining none of the politics. We shouldn't even be entertaining the arguments. We shouldn't even be entertaining the distractions. Because the idea is to get out of this situation and move on to the next one.
I think we do a lot of that entertaining all that stuff because it's comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels, comfortable. And I know you know about this, about how some people they can get to a point where they get comfortable in an uncomfortable situation.
That's what I'm essentially talking about.
Yeah, you get comfortable in an uncomfortable situation. It sounds crazy, right?
It is crazy.
But
That's
we do it a lot.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's like, why are you entertaining the shit that comes with it? This is not why you're here. You're not here to chill here. You're not here. It's like niggas in jail. When they get up in jail, they want to, I understand adapting to your situation, but you should not be as long as you ain't doing life and you got a date, your time should be focused on getting out.
Right.
Yes, deal with it as you are where you are, but don't be focused, don't be in there building your castle in this bitch. This is hell. You don't build your castle in hell, nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Focus on getting out of that shit.
Exactly.
You know? No, don't make this shit more miserable than you need to. I had to learn that the hard way many times in my life. You don't want to do that either. You don't want to shit on your situation. You know? You don't shit where you eat. You want to be proud of where you at, or make the most of it. But you're definitely not gonna fucking move forward getting too comfortable. If you get too comfortable with your life, you're not gonna move out of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So don't get too comfortable believing your own bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess you gotta tell yourself whatever you gotta tell yourself to get through the shit, but in reality, you should be trying to move past that shit, right? And not get too comfortable.
Yeah, essentially, I guess that's what it's about. It's not getting too comfortable in any situation at all.
Yeah.
In any situation.
Yeah. It could be just being in bad shape. Maybe you got a girl that tells you, oh baby, it's okay, I love you anyway, or it looks good. So you stop working out. Okay, and that's good that you're blessed that you got somebody that still fucks with you regardless, right? But the reality is you're not happy about it. You cannot stay in this space anymore. What's keeping you here? What's making you still convince yourself that this is okay?
I see people who's always in like impoverished situations. I see them people all the time, but they talk about it like it ain't no thing,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a survivor. All right, all right. You want to brag on being a survivor? You know what I mean? But where's the quality of life in that?
Yeah, man. That's what we're supposed to have. I can relate to that because at some point in my life, I definitely remember being totally okay with poverty, totally okay with it. You know, in saddest of ways, because I completely
Some
neglected
people will fucking
myself.
make excuses about it too.
Yeah.
Talking about, I ain't them. I don't need no money.
Yeah.
All that dumbass shit.
Yeah, man. Everybody deserves the best of whatever the fuck.
You gotta do weird shit to get to that level, of success. Okay. You want to live by that dumbass. I've heard it all, man. And it's all just excuses to stay comfortable. That's what it's really about at the end of the day. It's just excuses to stay comfortable. And that's kind of a crazy thing when you think about it. To get comfortably in an uncomfortable situation. That's crazy. But essentially, that's what we all do. And whatever that case, whatever it is you're dealing with, we all got something we're dealing with that we're not so comfortable with, or that we are, or something that we know we could improve on, but we're not doing it. We're holding on to it for whatever, which is, I was gonna say for whatever reason, but no matter what the reason you give, it's ultimately because you're comfortable in that situation. No matter what your reason you give, or excuse you give, you're just comfortable in that situation, and that's why you ain't letting it go.
And I just think the only reason why it's a problem is because it's hindering your growth.
Yes.
It's hindering your full potential.
And you know it. And you know it. It ain't no big secret. There's ways to know that when you know your growth is getting hindered.
Yeah.
You might ignore it, but you know.
Yeah.
You know. I mean?
For sure. So I think the main question here today is, what is keeping you here? What's keeping you at this level that you're at? Is it comfort, really? Is it fear? Or do you just don't think you're qualified to get there? The reality is you probably are, but you don't know yet because you haven't taken the first step. Ask yourself this question. In whatever situation you're in, either way, the idea is to move forward, to grow, to do better, because you deserve it. And that is the fucking purpose. It's not just to be okay with mediocrity. It's not. So I'm gonna say this. I love myself. And this is exactly why we're having this conversation, because I love myself. And I also love you. That's another reason why we're here. I'm able to love you because I love myself. So love yourself for yourself. Give yourself a chance. Fuck with you.